It is an honor for me to be up here along with my colleague Randy, who I've had the pleasure of working with for over 20 years. You know, Randy, usually they do age before beauty, but I think today they mixed up the schedule a little bit. So you can make jokes like that when you work together for this long. So, but thank you, everyone. Good morning. My name is Tom Carney, and I'm the Acting Commissioner of the Chicago Department of Transportation. Thank you to the Department of Procurement Services for putting together this great summit. I'm glad to be here today to share updates about the work we're doing to maintain and improve our transportation infrastructure throughout Chicago. The work we do is made possible by the great professional team at CDOT, working closely with other departments such as water management, and it's all in partnership with the great professional services and construction services firms, so many of which are here today. It takes all of us to make this all happen. CDOT is focused on realizing Mayor Brandon Johnson's vision for a transportation system that is safe, efficient, affordable, and equitable. Our goal is to ensure that everyone can safely move around our city regardless of their age, ability, or mode of transportation. This means delivering on capital investments on time and on budget, and making sure we provide quality services that keep our neighborhoods safe, accessible, and vibrant. There are many opportunities for contractors to work on CDOT projects as either a prime or subcontractor. CDOT and the City of Chicago understand the importance of having vendors on these projects that reflect the great diversity of our city. These opportunities include projects related to street reconstruction and resurfacing, bridge and transit station construction, sidewalk construction, traffic signal modernization, construction management, engineering services, and much, much more. 2023 was an extremely busy year for CDOT, and we're carrying that momentum into 2024 for what will be another productive and busy construction season. I'd like to highlight just some of our major upcoming projects. There are two projects that are currently advertised. Lake Street Bridge. This year we will begin rehabilitating the Lake Street Bascule Bridge over the South Branch of the Chicago River. The Lake Street Bridge is over 100 years old and carries the double-track CTA trains on the upper level and vehicular and pedestrian traffic on the lower level. The major rehabilitation of the bridge includes complete replacement of the bridge over the river, rehabilitation of all the mechanical and electrical systems, substructure, and the bridge houses. Also currently advertised is State and Lake Street CTA station. We will begin construction of the new State and Lake CTA station. This will replace the more than 100-year-old existing structure with a modern, fully accessible rail hub with wider platforms and a host of customer amenities. It will also include wide balconies open to the public facing north and south that create scenic overlooks of State Street. And I'll just go off record here that I hope whoever comes after me doesn't have to cite so many projects that are 100 years old. So this is why we're so busy, though. Canal Street viaducts. Last year we began the multi-phase project to rehabilitate the 4 viaducts of Canal Street between Taylor Street and Madison Street that serve as both a major corridor into Chicago's Central Business District and as well as the roof over Chicago's Union Station. We expect to advertise the 4th and final section of work this summer. In total, these projects will result in nearly 1 mile of city streets rebuilt on nearly the 100-year-old viaduct structures, again, 100 years old, dating back to the opening of the current Union Station, which was in the 1920s. So we definitely have some of these mega projects going, but there's also a variety of projects that I'm going to touch on that get more into the neighborhoods. So the Columbus Avenue Belt Railway Grade Separation Project. In the coming weeks, we expect to advertise the CDOT-led CREATE program project just west of Western Avenue. This grade separation project will improve safety and reduce congestion at critical crossing in Chicago's Ashburn community. Grand Avenue reconstruction from Damon to Ogden. We expect to bid that this summer. CDOT is rebuilding and improving Grand Avenue, which is a major corridor on the northwest side. This project includes improvements like widening sidewalks, adding trees, new street lighting, protected bike lanes, and enhanced CTA bus stops. Of course, we'll be continuing on with the Jackson Park Mobility, which is in support of the Obama Presidential Center. CDOT has been implementing roadway changes and improvements in Jackson Park to support the Obama Presidential Center. Bid package number 2 will include reconstructing Stony Island from 64th Street to 68th Street and reconfiguring Cornell south of Hayes Drive. This will include landscape restoration and aesthetic improvements within the Jackson Park footprint. We will also continue our efforts on WPA streets and alley reconstructions. So CDOT has more than 50 projects in different stages of design as part of our program to repair streets that were originally built through the Works Progress Administration, WPA. These streets were constructed in the 1930s, and many are lacking curb and gutter, adequate sewer structures for drainage, and appropriate lighting. Design work on these projects will include roadway reconstruction, curb and gutter installation, new sidewalk installation, ADA compliant ramps, and new lighting and drainage design. And then of course the alley reconstruction work is to create concrete alley reconstruction projects throughout Chicago's neighborhoods to improve drainage and improve roadway transportation through the alley network. Finally, touching on our streetscape programs, I think many folks are familiar with the work that CDOT does on streetscapes to enhance our business corridors. So this program strives to rehabilitate Chicago's neighborhood commercial areas into attractive places for Chicagoans to live, work, and play. This means upgrading aging infrastructure and improving neighborhoods through placemaking. These projects include streets, sidewalk, curb and gutter work, as well as adding elements like furnishing trees and various community neighborhood identifiers. So along with these major projects, CDOT will continue to effectively deliver neighborhood services that improve quality of life for residents. This includes our arterial resurfacing program and our residential street resurfacing program, reconstructing alleyways, refreshing and installing new pavement markings citywide, and repairing street lights and traffic signals throughout the neighborhoods, and then also planting trees along arterial streets and in medians and boulevards. And so I just want to touch on, I'm up now over 20 years with the Department of Transportation. I tell people I'm the youngest old man you ever met in your life. But during that time, we've had a variety of budgets and a variety of mega projects that the Department of Transportation has delivered, from the Riverwalk to our smart lighting program, to various bridge jobs we've taken on over the years, Wacker Drive. But I can honestly say that in my 20 years, there's never been a time where we've had such a buffet of every type of project that CDOT touches. There's mega projects, there's neighborhood projects, there's there's shoreline projects, bridge, transit, you name it. The full buffet of things that CDOT touches in our city will be worked on this year. And so as I started off, it does not happen with CDOT alone. We need a team, we need your help, the contractor community, in order to really help us deliver and make transformative change to our city. And we look forward to partnering with you on that. So in closing, I want to extend my thanks to all of you for being here today. This collaboration between the City of Chicago and the businesses here today is critically important for our city's continued growth and improvement. As you know, investments in our infrastructure are are about more than steel and concrete. These investments help connect people and each other to opportunities and growth. And I'd be happy after Randy speaks to answer any of your questions here today. Thank you.
So first of all, I just want to say that it's a pleasure to be here to just kind of let you guys know what we're doing in the Department of Water Management. As Tom said, it's just not the departments, it's our partners, especially when it comes to the contractors and it comes to all the vendors. I appreciate your time being here today just to kind of hear what we're doing and how, we need you all and how we want to partner with you all and how we're trying to ensure that the businesses in Chicago have a chance to be able to do business in the city of Chicago and have some work. Again, working with Tom for over 20 years, we've seen a lot of things between CDOT and water and some other departments. So we try to bounce our ideas off one another to find out what the other department is doing as far as how are you getting contracts out? What are you doing differently? What can I use from your perspective to try to get contracts out the door a little further? And again, we're just here to just kind of give you all that information. And again, my name is Randy Carney, and I am the Commissioner for Chicago Department of Water Management. And one of the critical functions of the Chicago Department of Water Management is to take water from Lake Michigan, and where we turn it into high quality, safe drinking water and distribute it to over 5 million people and the residents of the city of Chicago and 120 suburbs. Then when that water has been used, it goes into our sewer system, which is a combined sewer system, meaning that it takes storm water and wastewater, and it travels through our sewer mains to where the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District, which is a sister agency of ours, not to be confused with us, they specialize in dirty water, we specialize in the stuff that comes out of your faucet. And they take it from us and they treat it and they recycle it just so it can go back into the ecosystem. I mean, it sounds pretty straightforward, but it sounds simple, but the sheer scope of infrastructure required to make all this happen makes us one of the largest water utilities in the world. The 2 cribs that we have that are located out in the middle of Lake Michigan are about 2 miles offshore, and they pull water into underground tunnels that feed the world's largest purification plant, which is Jardine next to Navy Pier, and the 8th largest plant in the world, which is Sawyer, which is located by Rainbow Beach. These 2 plants purify about 750 million gallons of water a day, when we have the capacity to go up to about 1.2 billion gallons, depending on the demand. And Chicago's system is a pump-on-demand system, which means that like you go into the smaller suburbs and the smaller municipalities, they have water towers. That's the one thing that sets us apart from a lot of cities. Our gravity-driven system pulls the water to 12 pumping stations that are located in neighborhoods across the city. And these pumping stations pressurize the water and push it through approximately 4,300 miles of water main under the streets throughout the city and into your homes. The mains range in sizes from 4 inches up to upwards of 90 inches. And when you're done using the water, or when it rains, waste and storm water enter our sewer system comprised of approximately 4,500 miles of sewer main. And those range in size from 6 inches up to 100 inches. And one amazing fact about that is that if you combine the lengths of the water main and the sewer main, you will be able to go from Chicago to Berlin and back. That's how much infrastructure is underground in the city of Chicago. And if you add in over 47,000 fire hydrants and 340,000 sewer structures, that's a tremendous amount of infrastructure that requires maintenance, repair, and replacement. And that doesn't even include the 400,000 lead service lines that we have to replace in the upcoming years. And I hope it is clear that to everyone in this room that we have plenty of opportunities and will have plenty of opportunities and have enough work to keep thousands of Chicago families fed and thousands of companies working to be able to come, and we are committed to making sure that that means all families and all businesses. For months, DWM and DPS have been working hard to create strategies that make contracting opportunities more equitable and to ensure that smaller minority-owned businesses get a bite of the apple as well. Our lead service line replacement program is a great place to start with that. We have been very diligent and focused on coming up with more ways to make all of our contracts more appealing and more equitable to minority firms, more especially minority firms of color. We increased our compliance goals from our previous contracts for both the equity-led service line program and the daycare replacement programs. And for the first time, we have designated 2 of our work streams, the water reconnection program and the repair for drains in the right-of-way as small business initiative contracts. Each contract for water reconnection represents up to $5 million and up to $20 million for the drain and the right-of-way contracts. Some of our other opportunities that are slated to open for bid in Q1 and 2 this year include sewer lining in all 3 districts of the city, which equates to over $20 million in each area, over $25 million in commodities, drain repair contracts up to $80 million citywide, up to $165 million in street and parkway repairs and restoration citywide, architecture and engineering up to $50 million citywide, sewer repair and replacement contracts up to $55 million, lead service line replacement programs up to $155 million, the Sawyer Water Purification Plant low lift garage, which is part of the chemical building replacement, is estimated to be about $20 million. And then there's a sinkhole that we're trying to fix at the Sawyer plant that's estimated to be about anywhere from $8 to $10 million. And that's just a really high level for first and second quarter. And at DWM, we are and will continue to be your municipal infrastructure partner. And again, it's just a pleasure to be here to just let everyone know what we're doing and what we're trying to get out on the street so that everybody has a chance to bid on it, everybody has a chance to get a bite at the apple. Thank you.
We have some time for a QA. If you have any questions for either commissioner, go ahead and raise your hand. We'll come around with the microphone.
Thank you for your service, both commissioners. My name is Greg Bush Jr. from Bush Infotech Group, formerly known as KFA. We've been in business for 31 years. We are a professional services information technology firm. Part of our work over the 31 years, we probably trained 10, maybe 15,000 contractors to use technology in Illinois almost for every agency. In our heyday we literally wrote the book on how to use CAD. We literally wrote the book for the GSA on how to use BIM, and we taught industry across the United States how to use it. We generally operate within a program management office. We're prime with the Illinois Tollway. We've delivered $86 billion in projects using technologies that we've implemented. My question, and I can name all these Illinois agencies that we've worked for, including my 2 years of consulting at Jardine Plant, which was an amazing place to be. I'll also add that I personally implemented the technology for President Obama's ARA program to track it. We're innovators, such that Harvard Business School has studied my work. In Kentucky, for Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, I've implemented technology that let them use math and algorithms to determine what bridge needs to be reconstructed, what bridge needs to be demolished, and what bridge they're just going to decommission. I could go on and on with these scenarios. Metra is using a dashboard system that my company implemented to track switches and signals. My problem I'm gonna turn this into a question, is procurement offices don't procure innovations that I know in a procurement officer or middle manager or commissioner. I never got to the table to let you know about these innovations so you could do a public bid on it. Contractors use Procore, eBuilder, Kahua, Origo, all of these systems, you count on them to bring to the table unless you procure it as the owner. That still leaves the professional services firms like mine out of the picture. When we literally, for some of these techs, my firm individually literally created the industry. And I have the books and the white papers from the federal government that state what we do as the best practice. What can I do to make sure you know what it is so you can procure it?
So thank you for that. So I have, since I've been commissioner this time and in previous years in every department I've worked with, I've made it a practice to be able to meet with different vendors who have not had an opportunity to bid on anything that we have. I make it my business, right? So I can make sure people understand what the department does, what our needs are. And then we work with procurement services to find out if that's something that we can put out for bid, or if it's something that we can just do a direct, contract with, or whatever the case may be. So if there's a product that you have that you think could help us in the water industry, I have no problem with having that conversation. And we can always set something up for you to come in and give that presentation to the staff that's there that would understand it a lot more than I do. Because for me, I tell them I am an A person and a Z person. B through Y is what I pay them for, right? So if I'll get you to the B and the Y people, and you can have that conversation with them. So that's not a problem.
Yeah, if I could just add in, so where I've sat and seen as the city evolve over the years, a challenge that's been we're working on has been that you can build a system, but you have to it has to speak to so many other systems that maybe the DPS has their computer system, and the budget office has their system, and the comptroller has their system. And a lot of times the off-the-shelf type things don't always speak to those systems, and then we've just created more systems that are colliding and causing challenges to these city departments. But that doesn't mean that we don't have a responsibility as public servants to change that dynamic. And that's something that we've been working hard at CDOT, to be pragmatic about what are we doing. Yes, we have to speak to things, but how do we work together and collaborate? So we've been building systems that are in lockstep with taking ideas from water management, so that now those other agencies don't have like, oh, we need to do something separate for CDOT and something separate for water. No, we're trying to break down those silos. So I bring that up to say that that's a priority for our organization. So I'd welcome the chance to meet with you to see your product and stuff, and we look for opportunities where we can bring in things that speak to multiple systems. So that is a focus of our department that, right, wrong, or the other, didn't seem to exist 15 years ago.
I just had a follow-up, or I wanted to commend the gentleman that's in the IT group. I'm from New York. I moved here about 10 years ago, and I provide insurance, commercial insurance. And in New York, all of the public entities do business with minority brokers. I came from Marsh McLennan, the world's largest broker, but started my own agency. And since I've been here 10 years, I think he's right for professional services, insurance, IT, accounting. There just seems to be no involvement whatsoever.
Does anyone else, thank you for your feedback. Does anyone else have a question for either commissioner before we wrap up today? Well, please join me in once again thanking Commissioner Tom Carney, Commissioner Randy Connor for being with us today.